what you know about the blue and the silver. My Dallas Cowboys will deliver my mind. I'm a cowboy. I to the star. I'm a cowboy for life. How about the boys? I let them know every city I go that I'm riding with my boys forever.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Devereaux Sports, a.k.a. The Villain Show. I'm Paul Spencer, and today I brought 3 diehard Cowboy fans with me today. They asked me to play this music, and I'm so hyped about it. You know, I drove all the way down here thinking, like, oh, I'm going to hear some Eagles chants tonight, but these 3 guys actually asked me to play some Cowboy music today. So I'm going to introduce these 3 diehard Cowboy fans, you know. Sitting to my right, my main man, Glebe.
Yo.
Thanks for coming. And sitting to my left is a.k.a. The John. Joe Sullivan.
Yo, what's up? What's
going on? And new to the table today, a good friend of mine, first time meeting him, first time to the show, Ryan Smitty.
Oh, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, man. Hey, let's get this started. And of course, behind the mic, we got Mr. A.K.A. Dr. Dre back there.
Yeah,
with the sexy eyes back there staring at us all.
The sexy hazel.
Mr. Bob
eyes.
Harnett. There we go. Thanks for coming in tonight, Bob.
No problem.
All right, well, boys, let's get this started, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's just talk about a game last night. I think a team got rocked last night. The Flyers? I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch the game, guys, but John, you were telling me 7-3?
Yeah.
What happened? I'm not a big hockey guy, and since you know what, the great one, I got to pay this man respect. He is wearing a great one jersey. Wayne Gretzky, which we'll get into later because I think there's a little beef between the glass and out here, the John. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but talk to me. What happened last night?
Yeah, Ryan.
Jump in.
I guess when you look at two things, I think definitely Carter Hart has been struggling as of late. Definitely think Carter Hart's been struggling as of late. But the defense isn't really doing much to support him. Obviously, being short with what's going on with the pandemic is also affecting the team. But I feel like you can't make any excuses. These guys are all athletes and they're paid millions of dollars to perform and just coming up short, especially on the defensive end. But Carter Hart's been, severely disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Carter Hart gave up about 3 soft goals. Mm-hmm. Defense, they need at least 1 or 2 defensemen, but they don't really match up good with Boston. I mean, they're 0-2-1, I believe, this year.
Is it a speed issue with them? I mean, is it just?
It's just a tough matchup, and then also, the Flyers also had about 7 guys out with COVID, which, so you're not really getting a fair reading on it there. But going forward, I mean, they need to do something with these shots. I mean, they lead the league in shots given up, and I think they're towards the end in shots taken. Okay. And last year they were one of the best teams in shots against. Okay. They missed Niskanen like crazy. Mm-hmm. So it's a big thing.
Yeah. But okay. What do you think, Lee?
My take on last night, from what I watched, I mean, they looked worn. They just looked worn out. I don't know if it maybe was the travel and the playing outside. They didn't look like themselves at all last night. And yeah, Boston looked like a lot better team than what they currently are. But I think next time they play Boston, hopefully they bounce back, because usually with Flyers Boston history, it's back and forth with those two teams. So,
yeah. What do you got, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, look, I can see a lot of chatter starting to drum up, some criticism for Carter Hart. Well, Carter Hart's still 22 years old. I understand that there's, we are dying literally for a goaltender in this town that's, kind of.
Well, I mean, he's been deemed
the
franchise already, hasn't he? I mean, by everybody, he's the franchise.
He has, but like Joe said, that they lead the league in shots against. I mean, that's any goalie's going to have games like that if you're constantly giving up the amount of shots that they're giving up. And so I think it's more on the defense. I can't put my finger on the exact problem, because you have a defensive coach with a defensive system, and I don't know if they're not picking it up.
Yeah,
if it's just too soon.
You're giving up a lot of lazy goals out there, not giving him. I mean, you of course you're going to blame, just like the quarterback in the NFL. You're going to blame the goalie in hockey.
It's concerning.
And everything's not on him, though. I mean, it's a team game, and that defense is not helping them.
Correct. Well, and in all fairness too, the last 2 times they played Boston, I mean, the one they lost in overtime, they pissed that game away. Flyers had a 2-goal lead in the third period. You know what I mean? And then the other game, I think they lost by 1 goal. So it's not like, I mean, they have a tough matchup with Boston, but it's not like Boston is like 6 goals, 4 goals better. You know what I mean?
Well, who do you blame this on? I mean, I see a lot of, in our chat and we talk about it, being up there near Pittsburgh, it's all Penguin talk, which I can't stand, But I hear a lot of people, like when I go out and they talk about the Flyers, they're saying that this team will get the lead, maintain the lead, and then all of a sudden take your foot off the pedal. What's up with that? Like, what's going on? What can be done about that? Is it AV? What is it?
I mean, I think it's partly the coaching, but again, I think it goes down to the defense.
Right.
When you're not solid on the defensive end, I mean, you could have your foot on the gas pedal, but you're eventually going to turn the puck over.
Right.
Especially when the other team's pressing you. I mean, when the other team's losing by 2, then they have the opposition defenseman chips in and everything, and that's when you have turnovers.
Okay.
One of the other things that really bothers me and really aggravates me, quite frankly, is it's the same issues. These are the same exact issues that this team is faced with for the past, since Laviolette was coaching. And I don't understand if there's still like a mentality there where, hey, we're going to leave things as is so these new players can, enter the system easier. I don't know, but it's the same issues that they've had. Slow starts. If it's not a slow start, they get up front. The other team catches up. They let in goals.
Is it playing down to the lesser team that they should beat, or is it just overall everybody that they play this way? They just take the foot off the pedal.
I think it's everybody.
Everybody? Okay.
Well, it's happened to multiple teams. I mean, the couple games they even won, like the Islanders game a couple weeks back, 2 consecutive nights, I think they blew 2-goal leads.
Right.
So that it's definitely a glaring issue.
Yeah, because I was looking at it. I was driving home. Sundays are basically, going out with the family shopping and everything. I was looking at it. I was like, oh, it's 2-2. This is a game here. The next thing I know, I get home and it's 7. Like, wow, what happened,
Yeah, well,
what's going on?
Well, when the game first started, it was 1-1 right away. So you're like, all right, this is probably
could be a little shootout.
Yeah, a little back and forth. And then it just snowballed.
Right.
So,
well, we're not comparing like AV to Brett Brown. He's one hell of a coach, though, right? I'm just, I'm not, like I said, I'm not the hockey guy, but I don't know. But it falls on your coach.
This is typical Flyers. Every season they seem to do these little spurts where they look horrible and then they rebound and bounce back.
Well, going into that, how far are we going to go in the playoffs? Are we? Last year was that the little round robin one play in year whatever it is. That to me, that wasn't playoffs. That was just like, hey, momentum swung. You got lucky. You ran with it. Then you met your match. Where are we at this year? How far are we going?
I think their ceiling right now, without making a move, is probably lower than it was last year.
Wow.
So second round at best right now.
Wow.
Unless they make a move, because the defense is not good enough.
Well, going with that move, what would you make? You're the GM. I'll give you the checkbook. Tell me.
You know what? There's Nashville has a few defensemen out there. I think that kid, there's a guy, Matthias Eklund, that's out there. Yeah, Eklund. That's a rumored guy or whatever. Or
you have to give something up.
Oh yeah, you'd have to give up. What's that?
Pat Giroux's gone.
Nah,
no.
I don't see why Nashville wouldn't want Giroux. I
wouldn't want him either.
If you're getting a guy like him, I think you might be looking at younger players. You know what I mean? Like maybe a Frost, a couple draft picks, something like that.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with Joe and the fact that you need a number 1 defenseman. I think back especially defensively, there's a lot of miscommunication. If you see, there's a lot of breakdowns. But I also think this team lacks a true sniper, a true goal sniper. Farabee, looks like the part again. But again, if we're talking about Carter Hart being 22 years old, can we really put that pressure on Joel Farabee to perform? So, I'm not sure exactly who's out there, but definitely somebody that can put the puck in the net and can put the puck in the net consistently and on the power play.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to go pretty much with offense. You want a sniper first,
No,
right?
I want a combination of a veteran type of defenseman like we had with Niskanen, because I think Niskanen really controlled that pace of the defense, kept everybody at bay. But I still think a sniper. We talk about Giroux and we talk about some of these young stars, Giroux, Patrick, to an extent, Voracek, but they're not consistently putting the puck in the net. Like the reason why the Islanders were so successful, right, last year is like they had somebody like Matthew Barzal, right? That every time he touched the puck, magic could happen. The Sixers don't, or the Flyers don't have somebody like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and how many times have I said that, Joe? They need a guy like Leclerc back in the day that you could always count on.
Legion of Boom. Is that what it was?
Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom. Okay.
Yeah. They don't, and they still don't have that. It's like all these years we never have a goalie. Now we sort of have a goalie, but now we don't have the sniper, and that's what they're missing. They're missing that consistent goal scorer.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they're missing both, really, when you think about it.
What about you, Bob? I know you're ready to chime in back there, man. I see you picking over the board over there.
Yeah,
like, come on.
My head up. I agree with a lot about it. It's kind of sucks because we all agree here. There's no like kind of. My thing is you need a sniper. Yes, you need a top 4 defenseman. It's tough because I don't think the cap's going up much. I said from the beginning of the year when everyone was saying, including one person from Devereaux Sports, that they were going to go to the Stanley Cup or they were going to go eat.
Who was that?
Mike Laro.
Slayer.
So, yeah, Slayer. But no, I mean, I obviously I disagree with that. This is why I think that you're not going to get a sniper at the deadline because it's just too much money. The cap isn't going up. Because look, we're in this COVID-19 crisis right now. They still don't have fans in the stands. They're still not selling tickets or concessions. So I think that it's going to be one or the other, and I think that they should look to acquire a top 4 shutdown defenseman. And it sucks because again, we're having this conversation about defense when Hextall took over. We drafted all these defensemen that were supposed to come up and be shut down.
Isn't Hextall part of the Penguins now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's one of the that's another thing that really irks me. It just seems like it's a constant revolving door of the same, not a revolving door, but like I don't know what it is. You walk in, you trap all the problems and they can't get out. So I think it's, you're only going to you can only get one or the other. So, I mean, maybe Fletcher can pull a rabbit out of the hat, but I don't see, man, I barely the first round right now.
Wow, so I got Joe going in the second round. You might maybe the first round.
Yeah, and I originally said the second round.
Look, man, I'm just hoping they go all the way because I put a bet on the Flyers to win this whole thing, man.
Well, I'm going to say this, man.
I did. I believe you guys, man. Listen to you guys, man.
Remember last year when towards the end of the season when they started catching fire. So let's just not press the panic button yet.
Right. Hear that, Pat?
Yeah. There's a lot of players out with the COVID issues. I hope they get well. I mean, it sucks. And let's get them back. Let's get healthy. Let's get Frost back. Then we can evaluate this team a little bit. You're going to have to do it a little faster this year because everything's happening so fast. And you also have Adam Popple here who's chiming in. If I may,
yes.
Defense isn't strong enough. Need a shutdown defenseman. We touched on that yesterday. They were missing a lot of guys, so normally it wouldn't be a blowout. But Boston is a better team. And then the last sniper was Jeff Carter.
Oh, okay.
I also to everybody saying like first round exit. I think we need to slow down a little bit. Right, we are in a pandemic. I think we got to see what this team has. But let's not forget, it was a year or two ago. Right, nobody expected the St. Louis Blues to win the Stanley Cup. Right, and all it takes is a goalie to catch fire.
At the right
Carter
time,
Hart,
far,
you know what I mean? If Carter Hart catches fire, this team can do damage, right? We've seen it happen. We've seen the Kings do it when Jonathan Quick, so I'm not ready to do that. One thing I will say is, in Bob's defense, when you talk about a revolving door, the revolving door has been like giving guys contracts that might not be worth it. I mean, you're signing
like not living up to your contract.
Right, well, like you're looking at Voracek, you signed him for 8 years, right? At that kind of money. And I'm not saying Voracek doesn't give you production, but does he give you enough production that you wouldn't rather have a sniper like when the Rangers went and got Panarin or become a competitor in the Patrick Lane sweepstakes? Like, you look at some of the signings that they've made and the money that they've given players, and you have to wonder, like, if he had it all over again.
He's not as bad as Howie Roseman, though, right? This GM, I mean, handing the contracts out, the money, he's not that bad, right? We're not going to that level yet, right? Okay.
No.
I mean, the Flyers will be begging somebody to take Voracek. I mean, in fact, I mean, they'll leave him open in the expansion draft, and they'll hope he's taken,
so he gets picked up from them.
Right. In fact, they may even offer a pick to Seattle to have him get taken.
Wow.
Because just to get that money off the cap.
Is it a buyout? How is it? Did they automatically take over the remaining contract? How does that work in hockey?
No, I mean, well, in the expansion draft, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe if the team takes the guy, then they take his contract.
Okay.
That's why
That would be
Vegas.
the best bet for him to take Voracek. Okay.
Right. Well,
Okay.
well, Vegas was really good their first year because they got they got a lot of these veteran guys, and they were able to make a run. I mean, they almost made people were going to make big money if they won the cup. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, all right. Well, let's jump into something a little bit different. Let's talk about the NFL here. Carson Wentz, big news, man. How do we feel about this?
I'm thrilled. I can't stand him. I am so happy. I think he's overrated. He sucked last year. He was like one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. He's a whiny, pampered wimp. All right. I mean, he don't talk to the coach. He may do good in Indianapolis now.
I think he'll do really well there. I really do. Under Frank's leadership, he's played with him before. He knows his system. He knows he's a diva. He knows how to talk to a child. And I think that's what it's going to be. I think he's really going to do great this year. I'm looking at probably we'll get into this later on. But what do you got?
I got to be honest. Originally, I was a huge Carson Wentz fan.
Yeah, but I did see something on like Facebook Marketplace. I see all these Wentz autograph signatures being sold now.
Yeah,
what's up with that, Smitty?
Just got to try to get the money in while you can, right? But the more you hear about Carson Wentz, the perception of the player that he really was wasn't the case.
Right.
It seems like if you believe the stories, right? And I know, before we wanted to discount, and everybody was kind of throwing Alshon under the bus, and all these players, why are they trying to make Carson a scapegoat?
Now you read between
the lines now, and you see that could be the case. And everybody wants to start and talk about that. It started with the Jalen Hurts draft pick. The unravel. I'll tell you when it happened. It happened after the Super Bowl because Carson was very jealous of Nick Foles.
Oh, of course.
Right. And then after that statue was put down there. And second of all, if you read the article, it says he doesn't want to run a Nick Foles system. But my question to Carson Wentz is, if you don't want to run a Nick Foles system, but that Nick Foles system got you the Super Bowl, then what type of team player are you?
Exactly.
Right? Because you run the system. You kill the ball, you kill at the line of scrimmage constantly, right? You're making poor decisions. And to me, honestly, he quit on the team. As far as I'm concerned,
he lost that
quit
locker room
on the
big
team.
time. He lost respect for his players in the locker room.
He lost a lot of respect.
And the coaches, I think, too. Like, hell with you. You're out.
There's a lot of players that are coming to his defense now, but I think they're doing that in a professional manner.
Exactly.
But, there's two things of why I'm excited about Jalen Hurts. Number one, people want to talk about the fact Jalen Hurts, he transferred schools. But if you look into that story, he didn't do it the way Carson Wentz did it, right? He was at Alabama, right? He decided he was a grad transfer at Oklahoma. You want to know the difference about Jalen Hurts? During the year when Tua took his job, what did Jalen do? He answered the call right in the SEC.
He came in the SEC
championship
down
and they
points and came back and won the game.
And
that's
then,
right. You know what? Push it aside
and then
again.
As a grad transfer,
exactly.
He's like, okay, I'm going to go to Oklahoma. See, I have no problem with that because at that point you're a grad transfer. But you were a team player when you were at Alabama. And the other thing that you look at, Jalen Hurts is he constantly works at his craft. Jalen Mills talked about it this week. At lunch, he's out there throwing the ball. You saw the videos yesterday. He's got a quarterback
and that's
coach.
What they do at the practice field just by doing that on the not even the OTAs right now, and he's doing that. And these players are looking at him like, wow, Carson didn't do this. Carson wasn't like this. Look at Jalen Hurts. He's out there. I think he just called some of the wide receivers to come work out with them already.
Yeah,
come on, wow, really? That's leadership, right? That sets the tone right there.
Leadership goes a long way.
I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan. Huge.
Leadership goes a long way. And the only way this team's going to get better is if they learn from their mistake of building. They didn't build enough around Carson Wentz. But if they go out in this draft and they get weapons for Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts' ability to run,
he's gonna be some serious like an RPO with him. And let's say you get that Devontae Smith out there with Sanders in the backfield. Hey, you know what? And you got Rager coming back healthy. This team is going to be really good. I mean, you just cut the diva, Deshaun Jackson, which I think was way overdue. That should have been done a while back ago. But I think Jalen Hurts with the right system, his system, and got his quarterback coach coming now, it's going to be a good system for this guy. I'm telling you.
And the other thing Philadelphia needs to remember is, we have this big cap hit for Carson Wentz, but next year we got $70 or $80 million.
Exactly.
And we can surround Jalen Hurts with talent.
Yeah.
So why take a quarterback at 6? Let's see what this kid can do. If you're not good this year, now you have 2 first-round picks because I think everybody
you
at this
burn one
table
on
agrees
you burn one right there.
Carson's going to play 75% of the snaps.
He will. Yeah.
So you're going to get a first-round pick. So I like Jalen Hurts a lot.
I do too. What do you got, Lee?
My take on Wentz, I was always a Wentz guy, and I really wanted him to succeed here. I really thought he was going to be the franchise quarterback and last year, and fortunately it didn't happen. And obviously we know he's not going to work here. But I do blame the Eagles too, because they also didn't really put players around him. And I put some of the blame on the Eagles too, not just all Carson Wentz. I think he's going to do good out with the Colts with Frank Reich as his coach out there. So I think you're going to see an improved Carson Wentz from what you saw here. And the whole thing, I mean, it goes back to the Super Bowl. He never got that monkey off his back. So that was really the whole thing, not just the Hurts. And honestly, with Hurts, I'm not as hyped on Hurts because we don't know. We're going to have to see a full season from this guy to really judge to see how he is.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. I mean, college is a different animal, but Smitty, Joe, we all watch college football, and this kid's leadership, man, it tells you something. Just like the story you said with the SEC championship game. Tua goes down, you're down, you come in, you win this game. You're walking out.
A crucial spot that we're going to be losing. It looks like I don't know if they did it yet, but they're about to cut Jason Kelsey.
I did read something like that. Yeah.
So they're going to need they're now going to need a center.
Well, Sayamalo was drafted. Yeah. Sayamalo was a center in college, and I mean, so yeah, obviously Kelsey's going to be a huge loss. I'm not saying he's not, but I feel like Sayamalo, he may be better center than he is guard. He was naturally a center, so we'll see what happens.
This team has still a lot of holes. I mean, we still don't have that top wide receiver. I mean, that's why this draft is, I think, the most crucial draft going forward.
There's a lot of holes to fill. This is not just one team where you can get one player in the draft, a plug and play player, and make you to the playoffs. It's not going to happen. There's a lot of holes.
If they mess up this draft, Howie's got to go.
Where you go in the draft?
Well, I mean, if they stay at 6, I love that kid Pitts from Florida.
Well, he's nasty. And six possession receiver with speed. And nasty.
Sirianni's offense, he loves looking for mismatches. He could go 2 tight end, him and Goddard. Now, if you move down, I mean, do
you trade it? Do you trade out?
Well, here's a scenario. So say a team at like 11 or 12, like San Francisco wants to move up and get a quarterback. You get their 12th pick, you move down to 12, you get their 1 next year. You still get a guy at 12, maybe Devontae Smith, possibly just because of his size.
They're saying he's going to drop this year, which I don't know. That's kind of weird with Devontae Smith. I mean, he's nasty.
All right, well, what if he drops to 12? You get Devontae Smith at 12, you get San Fran's 1 next year. Then next year you got 3 ones. And you surround Jalen Hurts with weapons, sink or swim, see if he can play. Now, if he drops the ball and he can't play, if you got to get a quarterback next year, you got 3 firsts as ammunition. Right. You know what I mean? So that's, and we have so many needs. I mean, we need a lot of picks.
I could also see them, and it seems like the Eagles always do this when we know we need that offensive player, that weapon. I could see them absolutely throwing us off and going offensive line.
Well, I mean, that is a need, though. I mean, Peters is on his last leg, and you're talking about Kelsey being gone.
I'd rather have the weapon.
Do you want to protect Hurts now, or just say, hey, you know what? This is your one shot. Go out. We're going to get you a weapon. Prove it.
Well,
what do you do?
Well, Mailata actually was one of the better left tackles in the game towards the end of last year. And Herbert, what's her name? Herbig, I think his name is.
Herbig, yeah.
He looked pretty decent. You got Lane Johnson coming back. So the line long term, you need a couple younger linemen, but I think you could get away with waiting a year on the O line and get.
If you get him the weapons, I mean, his legs are going to give him a lot of time also. So that RPO will work good for him.
Yeah, I'm not really. I told you I want a weapon, but it would be really hard for us to turn down if that offensive tackle from Oregon's there at 6. I think you have to. If Sewell's there at 6,
Banana or something like that, whatever his name is, something like that.
I kind of want to bring back to one of the things that Lieb said, and I agree partially, Lieb, to what you say about Carson wasn't surrounded with, the talent needed to succeed. But then I also question the moves in the draft after they made Carson the quarterback. They went out and they tried to get a left tackle to protect him, right? And Andre Dillard, it didn't work, right? They drafted Miles Sanders, a running back, a weapon. They drafted Dallas Goedert, a tight end. I mean, they went out and and even though Jalen Reagor might have not been the pick, they picked 3 offensive players this year, right? Or 4, right? Watkins, Hightower, Reagor. I mean, at one point, does Carson take the blame? He had $128 million, right, of reason why to show out.
Yeah.
And he had some talent around him. So I do blame part of it on Carson too. Like
I think he gets a lot of the the flaws on him.
And I'm not a big Roseman fan at all by any means.
I love Howie Roseman.
But you would as a Cowboys fan.
I love Howie.
But I'm going to tell you this right now: as much as people that are sitting here ripping Howie Roseman, Jalen Hurts turns into a stud quarterback.
Exactly.
And then they have $80 million next year. We're all going to be singing Howie Roseman's praises.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I agree with Lee. If they don't get this draft done, if you fail this draft, he's got to go.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I agree with that.
They need to treat this offseason like they did 2016. Like 2016, they signed Rodney McLeod. They
got some free agents to come in here and play as a package.
But they were affordable, young, ascending players like McLeod, Bradham. Nobody knew who Brandon Brooks was until he came here. They're the kind of moves they need to make. Like get the ascending player, like a guy like maybe. I mean, I don't know if this guy in particular, but like Malik Hooker from Indianapolis, former first round pick, has injury problems.
He was a stud at Ohio State. He was nasty there.
You get him on the cheap, bring him in. He knows the defense because he's coming from the Colts, and maybe he comes in here and he actually fulfills something.
Right.
And that's one position you get cheap, young guy that you don't have to draft, because you have so many needs. You're not going to get them all in the draft. You're going to have to sign some guys.
The defense is still a big issue too with that secondary. Like we still need that safety there. Since Dawkins was gone, we haven't had that physical presence back there, and they need that back there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And linebackers too.
I think you're ever going to get a linebacker. That's not your Eagles typical.
No, it's not. But it's always hope.
So I might have a little bias in the draft, but obviously Archbishop Wood, right, is where I went. So I'm all over Kyle Pitts, but I'm also a Penn State grad, and I don't think people realize how good Michael Parsons can be. Michael Parsons could be your quarterback of your defense. You're talking about a leader on the defense. Like who's the Eagles leader right now? I mean, I guess it's Brandon Graham.
Yeah, I would say Graham.
And I guess
probably
maybe McLeod, right? But McLeod's coming off another injury.
Right.
You don't know what you have with Kayvon Wallace. You want somebody that could quarterback your defense for the next 10 years. It's Michael Parsons. Now we all know Howie Roseman doesn't value linebackers, but if you look at that Super Bowl, look at the you can't tell me the Buccaneers didn't benefit from having quality linebackers.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think we all agree on that. I mean, the Eagles have to hit 100% on this draft. It's like you said, it's not one player plug and play person. It's the entire draft. And just like Joe said, do free agency. You got to get some players to come in here, cheap price to bring them in.
That's the problem. You don't have a lot.
I mean, I see a lot of our chat saying Patrick Surtain. Okay, he's going to the Cowboys. That's what we have to have him. I mean, I'm telling you, if we get a position where we go wide receiver, I'm done. I'm burning every jersey I have. I swear to God, I am.
I was ready to have this, and I think you're going to agree with me. But Jerry Jones needs to stop worrying about what the Eagles are going to draft. Let's be honest. Like he didn't need CeeDee Lamb last year.
No, he didn't.
He could have took a defensive player to help them now, but he was so afraid that CeeDee Lamb would end up in Midnight Green.
I agree partially with you. I was kind of mad. I mean, I really was mad. I'm like, okay, you know what? We don't need this. Here's our chance right here. Okay, we're sitting there. Let's just get our defense. Let's just build our defense. We have the damn weapons. We can score 40 a game. I don't care. We can do this. Let's go after defense. And then when CeeDee Lamb fell, I'm like, this son of a bitch is going to take him. He's going to take him. And of course, as a Cowboy fan, I was like, CeeDee's nuts. I put it all out there. I'm acting like I'm happy. I really wasn't 100% happy. You didn't need another slot receiver. You didn't need it. And to me, it just kind of pissed me off. But as long as Jerry Jones is our GM and owner, we ain't ever going to see a ring, man. I'm the first one.
You got your VHS tapes, man.
You know what? I'm doing the VHS. Okay. I've already transferred mine to DVD. Okay, now, I'm smart enough to do that. All right.
You say that you won't see a GM, but if you polled Philadelphia when they hired Doug Peterson, and a lot of people probably won't admit it, they thought that was the worst hire, right? And that we would never get a ring. And look at we turned in 3 years. So I wouldn't be so sure that Dallas can't. I just
looking at Mike McCarthy, I'm a firm believer. We all watch sports. This man's proven. He's taken. He's won a Super Bowl as a head coach. Thank you, Bob. You're not even back to me anymore.
Bob just took a Dallas.
He did. He just took a Dallas crap, man. Wow.
Sorry, guys. I had to do
Stains
that.
And all on that one.
Man, even with the song in the beginning.
Take your shots, Bob. But as Mike McCarthy, I like the guy, but what he did last year to this team, players lost respect for him. Okay, big time. He made some stupid decisions in this game, time management. I'm just clueless on some of the things he did during these games. I mean, I was totally lost on him, but I blame it all on COVID. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It's a COVID year.
Everything gets blamed on COVID.
Well,
that's pretty much it.
Exactly. That's what we're going to go with. It's a COVID year. We're all going to blame COVID. Hey, but I don't know. I mean, what do you think the Eagles are going to do next year? Like, let's talk about division. Who stacks up top to bottom in the division, and how far is your team going to go if you have them in the playoffs?
I really hate saying this, and I'm holding my nose as I say it, but I feel like if Dak comes back healthy, I feel like the Cowboys are the class of the division. I mean, obviously, I hate saying that. Mm-hmm. And then if Washington can get a quarterback, they'll give
you.
Who
do they get though? I mean, Alex Smith. I mean, the man is comeback player of the year.
Well, I heard that they're saying. I mean, this may not be a good move, but they may take a chance on Sam Darnold because they might be able to get him for like a 2 and a 4, bring him in. I mean, that might be worth the risk, a change of scenery maybe. Mm-hmm. But I don't really know who else. I mean,
where are the Giants at?
The Giants. I mean,
still in the dumpster.
No, I don't know the Giants. I'm not sold on Danny Jones.
Are you guys sold on the Washington Redskins being like within the top?
The Washington football team.
Washington football team. Yeah.
I can't help it. I'm sorry. It's not politically, but they're always going to be the Redskins to me.
That's to me.
I'm 42 years old. Exactly. I've been 42 years old.
The Hogs, man.
They're the Redskins to me. So that's just how it is. But yeah, I mean, if they had a quarterback, their defense is no joke.
It is. It's young.
Their defense is no joke, and they got that kid Gibson at running back. They got McLaurin. I mean, they're kind of scary. But again, if you don't have that guy, the best you're going to do is like 9-7, 10-6.
Well,
going to win our division.
Next year it goes to 17 games, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
that's so weird. Yeah, I'm going to have to say like 10-7 or whatever.
It's weird. 9-7, 10-6.
I think if the Cowboys have Dak Prescott in that first game, the Eagles lose that game, and we go 0-2 this year against the Cowboys.
I think it's going to be a split no matter what. I mean, it's just division to me. Like I always say it's going to be a split.
And not this year coming up. I don't think so, man. Because I almost want to say that rivalry isn't as intense as it once was.
After this year, I don't think it is like anything in the NFC East is like, who cares, man? Like, wow, is there another game on? Seriously.
I'm not necessarily worried about the Eagles offensively. I think it's defensively. Like, I think we're still going to score points. I think, that was proven this year. I mean, I think Jalen Hurts will use his legs and he'll use his arm. I think
plus he's going to have a full
Sanders.
Rotation around him. He's going to get all the first snaps, all the OTAs. Everything is going to be his system implemented for him. It's not going to be take over Carson's, role. It's not going to be like that.
And not only that, like Dallas Goedert, I think without Ertz here, because Ertz is going to be here. I think Dallas Goedert's going to evolve into a bigger tight end. I think he's going to take that next step. I think the key, like Lee and we've all talked about, is like they need a weapon, right? Because everybody's just already saying Rager's a bust. I don't think you can say that. First of all, and he did show some improvement with Jalen Hurts. But however, if you get somebody next to him like a Jamar Chase, or you get somebody like a Kyle Pitts.
This wide receiver draft is really deep though too.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or Rondell Moore in the second round from Purdue. I mean, there's a lot of talent there. So defensively, I hope that they'll have enough, but like pass rush wise, I don't know. Like, do you bring Barnett back at the $10 million option? Graham's a year older. Can you expect another career year? Can you expect Alex Singleton to play as well as he can? That secondary, like Darius Slay, like do you trade him now? Because if you're in a rebuild so the Eagles have a lot of decisions to make. Right. Like I could see the Eagles going one of two ways. I could see the Eagles being, so I'm going to hit 5-11-1 because I'm just going to assume that we're going to tie a game. And then, or I could see the Eagles being, 9-8 or 8-9. And, I think the division, every year, the NFC East is a crapshoot, right?
It is,
and every year, right? I think for the past teams other than the Eagles, I think that there hasn't been a repeat champion, and until Dak can prove that he can stay healthy, until Daniel Jones can prove that he's accurate, and until Washington actually is a quarterback, to me the division's wide open. It wouldn't be crazy to say that if Dak didn't come back perfect from that injury, that the Eagles could end up having the best quarterback in the division.
Well, I get in a fight with a lot of Cowboys fans, because I'm in the group chat with them down there in Texas, and they're like, "Oh, if Dak was in, we would have won the Super Bowl." I'm like, "No, you put up 40 points, but you were giving up 45 points every game. I don't want to hear that."
No, Super Bowl. I mean, they were giving up like 250 yards rushing a game.
okay, yeah, your offense is putting up points. If Dak is healthy, fine. Okay, you know what? Defense wins championships. If you can't stop the offense, hey, you know what? You're going to lose the damn game. Very simple.
Right. Well,
you know?
I also hope that, Mike McCarthy's developing Ben DiNucci, right?
Yeah.
If Dak
I heard he's
goes down,
starting.
right? So
I almost bought his jersey. I got the Andy Dalton
jersey.
jersey. You believe that?
I mean,
I was an idiot and bought it.
DiNucci outplayed Carson Wentz that game he played.
I know.
People
Who put the stats up there? Who was
Yeah,
it? Adam. Yeah, my man Adam Popple threw the stats up there.
But if you look at that, like,
he came to my defense on that one.
That's the other thing. Like, and not to keep talking about Wentz, but like, who did he beat that was really good? Right? They beat the Giants only because Evan Ingram missed a wide open pass.
Exactly.
They beat the 49ers with the backup quarterback. Right. And then what? They beat the Cowboys with their third or fourth string quarterback. Right. So, like, what wins were there? I mean, we couldn't even beat Cincinnati.
Right.
It was ugly. It was definitely top 3 or 4 worst year I can remember.
What do you got, Lee?
I say the same thing as Smitty. I think it's either going to be 8-9 or 9-8 for the Birds next year. They just have so many holes, and it's not all going to be done in 1 year. And I just don't see them. I mean, even if they won the division at 9-8, I think if they got to the playoffs, they'd be probably one and done at the most. So
yeah,
if they go 9-8 next year, and make the playoffs, I'll be ready to have part of a parade because look at it long term.
Yeah,
again, I'm not expecting long term that means that Jalen Hurts is the guy, though.
Yeah.
And
well, what does he have to do, like, to say he's the guy? What does he have to do? Record standpoint, what does he have? Or
I don't think it's just
personal accolades. What does he have to do?
I don't think it's record standpoint. I think with anything, like, remember, this is basically, to me, when you go in the Hurts, this is really his first full year as an NFL player, right? Like, there wasn't a training camp.
Exactly.
So to me, I just want to see progress. I want to see him work on his arm strength, because I know that's a question, even though we saw the ball that he threw to Deshaun Jackson and Dallas. So I'm not necessarily concerned with his arm strength. I'm concerned with him being able to move the offense. And then also, can he adapt to defenses changing him? Because the one thing I will say that people are correct in Hurts is, if you look at it, even the games where he was really well, it was in the first half and in the second half. So, like, how can he adapt to the changes, right? Because he's going to be able to be elusive with his legs.
Yeah.
But is he going to be able to make enough throws to keep the defense on its toes that the running game still works?
Yeah,
so
we know he has a deep ball. We know he's a deep ball from Oklahoma. We've seen that. I mean, the man can run multiple offenses at Alabama.
But
I hear he had
if
weapons,
you noticed with Hurts, teams started to figure him out at the end. Like, in the beginning, he looked great because he was new. Like, teams didn't really know him, and then once they started to get some film on him,
the benefit from what you just said from Hurts is this is still his rookie year.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it was a vanilla offense for him. That was it. Now you're coming in for a whole season. Nobody has game tape of really what this kid can do yet.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. Like, I don't think Doug Peterson and them ever build an offense being like, okay, Hurts is going to be the guy. So they kind of threw him in. They tried to make things that work with him. But, like, let's remember, we have a whole new staff, right? You got Sirianni who comes in, right? And, he likes that 12 personnel. And then you also have the fact that, his quarterback coach and Brian Johnson, like, he's going to, I think they're going to open up some serious
plays. Right. I mean, the playbook's is going to be so wide open. It's going to be a 12-page playbook for him. Right now, he's running like a 2-page,
I think that actually plays a big role in the Jalen Reagor too. Because if you look at the Eagles offense last year, how often did they use motion? I mean, it seems like the receivers were just set in a set set spot. You know what I mean? Maybe Reagor does better if you have him and maybe line up in the slot a little bit. Put him in
they're
motion.
Going to learn like an Oklahoma playbook. I mean, it's like with CeeDee Lamb. He was in a slot. They moved him constantly. He wasn't just one position. I think it's just like we said. It's going to open up so much for him. You're going to see Reagor in different positions. You might see him in the backfield running a little, a jet. You never even know with this guy.
Right.
Bob, what do you got back there, man?
Yeah, we got some things going on here. So in the chat, there's a little squabble going on. You got Adam Popple, Pat Bernard, and Chris Diddick going at it. So Chris Diddick is checking in. He's a turnover machine. He has the most fumbles than anyone in the league. And he's referring to Wentz, and poor Pat Bernard is saying, leave Wentz alone. Shut up.
His face already fell off the mountain, Pat. Okay, he's gone. Get over it, okay? It's not Pennsylvania anymore, or Wencedelphia, whatever you want to call it. It's not, Pat. Go shovel my streets. I got to go home in a little while. All right?
I think you'll enjoy, aside from Smitty's about to give it to him too.
Yes, he is. I'm waiting. He's over here like, come on, my turn, my turn.
Adam Popple's chiming in again. Pat loves Wentz again. On, off, on, off.
That's what we need to get. I need to get one of those buttons on and off for Pat right here, you know?
So, hey, Mike Laura always says, get the preparation H. Go ahead, Smitty. Give it to him.
So, Pat, if I recall, right, and I'm going to look in the camera when I talk. If I recall during the year, me and you, before I even came in the studio, we did a call together, right? And we talked about how Hurts brings excitement to the offense, and now it's time for a change. And now a change is made, and all of a sudden, you're riding with the Wentz wagon, right? You're riding with the Wentz wagon. I saw you in your post, right? You said that Wentz is going to go to multiple AFC championships,
and multiple Super Bowls? I read that. I thought it was a dream or something. Like I was seeing things.
I'm going to hold something up for you, Pat. See that? That's how many playoff wins Carson has. 0.
Mark this show because I want somebody to have his little markdown 0 championships, and I want to hear Pat's rebuttal to this. So,
and also, I'm going to hold up how many quarters he's played in the playoffs and won, and I'm being nuts because it was really one drive. So, Pat, the reason why they drafted Jalen Hurts is simple. Wentz can't stay healthy, and that's going to continue in Indy. And plus, let's see how Wentz now cries because he didn't get his number 11 from Michael Pittman.
That's right.
Junior.
Right? So is he not going to throw
to
Michael Pittman Jr., right? A rookie. Telling Wentz,
no, you
ain't getting that number 11, boy.
I know.
You know what gets me too? I mean, how's Wentz going to get to this? Am I missing? Is Pat Mahomes going to retire? Is Josh Allen going to retire? Like, where?
Yeah, the AFC's is tough.
The AFC's no joke. I mean, you look, the Indianapolis Colts won 11 games last year. They had to play at Buffalo in the first round.
Exactly.
They were what, the 7 seed?
Yeah,
and that's tough, dude.
I mean, he's 3 years off his best season. Right? And Pat, let's go over another thing too. North Dakota senior year, hurt, right? First year in the league, even though in the preseason, hurt. Did play the whole first season. Second season, right? ACL, right? Then came back after Nick Foles won that Super Bowl, right? Got hurt again. And then Nick Foles won another playoff game against New Orleans, right? Then they decided to give him $128 million, probably because he was upset that, Foles. So Foles goes to Jacksonville, right? And don't get me wrong, Wentz was great that year to Seattle. Like, he had no receivers. He did it down the stretch. But then he got hurt again in the Seattle game, right? And then you think, okay, they drafted Jalen Hurts, right? And I just think about any job that any of us are in, right? Competition breeds success, right?
Exactly.
All the time. What did Aaron Rodgers do when Jordan Love was drafted? He just went in and balled out.
Exactly.
What
you look over your shoulder
Wentz
like, this kid's going to take my job? No, you're not ready yet.
Was like John Crook. He took his ball and went home.
I agree with all that. Pat, the gauntlet's been thrown down, man. I don't know when you're on next week, but I'm telling you, better rebut my man Smitty, man, because he's got you in a chokehold and it's about to be tap out time. Just saying right now. Lee, want to add anything?
I don't have anything to add.
After that right there, man, that's like a showstopper right there. That's that's a TKO.
Leaves a Wentz guy.
I was a Wentz guy because
Are you off the mountain?
What's that?
Is Pat up there waving all by himself right now?
I've come to realization Wentz wasn't going to work here, so I accepted the fact that he had to go. So, but
what you got, Bob?
Well, first off, Smitty, this is you. He's on fire. All right. So Pat Bernard's checking back in. Foles lost to the Saints twice in the playoffs. And Chris Didick is going at Pat, saying Pat is an old folk with dementia.
Hey,
somebody hold Smitty down because he's on fire. Get him, Smitty.
Pat, I got news for you. Who beat the Saints this year? Oh, that's right. It was number 2, Jalen Hurts. Hurts so good.
Wasn't it like a damn Goliath matchup? Like they didn't have a chance in this game?
Foles couldn't win. Pat, go back and check your box score the year that they went to the playoffs with Foles as the quarterback because Wentz got hurt again, and they got absolutely annihilated. I think they lost by 30 at the Superdome. And Nick Foles was an Alshon Jeffrey drop from going to the NFC Championship.
Yeah. Yep. All right, boys. We have enough Eagles talk here?
Hey, we could talk Eagles all night.
I can talk Eagles all night long, too.
Let's switch it over. Let's go to the Sixers, man.
All right.
Let's just talk about some Sixers. I know, Smitty, you and I have a little debate. I know you're a huge Simmons fan. I'm a Simmons fan, but I'm not totally sold on him yet. We'll get into that a little bit. But let's talk about these Sixers, man. I mean, they're playing great. Off days, losing to I don't know. Talk to me.
Well, the water boy killed us last night. Boucher was on fire.
Yeah, he
I don't know
was.
what he must have drank his daddy's water or something.
Mhm.
That dude was unreal.
Can I just interject? I have breaking news.
Yeah,
Oh.
breaking news.
Breaking
Mm.
news.
But Pat bought a Wentz Colts jersey.
Well, that might be next, but close, but even better. I'm all alone on Wentz Mountain, naked, says Pat Bernard.
Now Carson said,
I bet Pat is. And he's got those PennDOT yellow sneaks on too out there all by himself.
I
Man.
didn't want to rewind back, but I thought that comment was worth
That's
it.
Oh,
breaking
man,
news.
that's so
Good Lord.
funny.
Show's over. That just blew my mind. I'm done.
Pat probably wishes he was naked with Carson Wentz on that
God.
mountain,
That's an image we don't
Yeah,
want to
that-
see.
whoa, man.
riding his Wentz wagon.
Oh, boy. Pat, just, Pat, just continue working for PennDOT tonight. Clean the streets, man. Okay, you enjoy it. You and Carson, think about it.
Yo, Pat,
Yeah.
fix some damn potholes, man. The streets are horrible.
They are, Pat.
Now he's getting it even worse. All right, 76ers. I apologize.
All right, let's go. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just saying,
About Boucher.
if the last few weeks, if the last few games have really told you something, and I'll freely admit I've been a Ben Simmons critic myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his lack of shooting drives me absolutely insane. But I will say that when they didn't have him the 2-week games last week, you really noticed it. I mean,
Right.
I'm at the point where now there's only one guy I would consider trading Ben Simmons for that's available. I would think about it with Bradley Beal. But he's so important to our defense and running the offense. I don't even know if I do that right now. I think you need to keep Ben Simmons.
Yeah. What do you got? Go with the lead first. I know somebody's about to jump on me here. What do you got, Lee?
As far as Simmons goes, I'm still holding strong to my point on him. If they can get the right guy, I want
who's
him
the right
traded.
guy?
Hey, who's the right guy?
Who's the right
I'm
guy?
just saying somebody that's a solid.
Well, give me an
shooter.
example. Give me an example. Who you out? What do you got? If it's open on the table, right, and it's available, you're the GM. Pull the trigger.
I'm going with Buddy Hield from Sacramento.
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield. He plays what?
You can
Really?
get Buddy Hield
You
without
can get
Ben
him with
Simmons,
a
bro.
bag of
No
nachos,
way.
man. You can get him with a bag of Fritos or something right now. That's not Simmons.
No, I'm
That's
saying
not
it.
tradable.
Well, no. I'm saying if they wanted Simmons in the trade, I would trade him.
For Buddy
Buddy
Hield?
Hield?
Buddy Hield.
Dude, thank
It's
God
an
you're not
outrage.
the GM.
You and Howie need to get out.
It's an outrage.
That sounds like a Brett Brown GM.
It's exactly a Brett Brown there. Yeah.
That's trash. That's like the ultimate trash trade.
It
dude.
is.
It's
No
an
way.
outrage.
The Kings would be sitting there like, "Are you serious?" He's got
Guys,
the
this is
deal
an
of a
out-
lifetime.
It's an outrage.
What do you got, Smitty? Go ahead. Give it to me about Simmons, man.
Ben Simmons right now, to me, is one of the most underappreciated athletes in Philadelphia. Defense wins championships.
Right.
Everybody wants to talk about Bradley Beal, Buddy Hield. I love Buddy Hield, but I love Buddy Hield next to Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
get rid of Ben Simmons.
As a tag
You
team
get
combo,
rid
yeah.
of Ben
Oh, yeah.
Simmons in a playoff series and say you trade for Bradley Beal. Let me just start with a first opening round of say you get Miami.
Mhm.
Who covers Jimmy Butler? You going to put Tobias Harris on him?
No.
You beat the Heat because you have Beal. Now you get the Nets.
Right.
Who covers? I mean, Ben Simmons
Well,
right
you got
now.
three options
for
there.
the
I mean, the
month
Nets
of-
are a different.
The month
you know.
of February, Ben Simmons is averaging 22, 8, and 8.
Mhm.
I think if you get that from him every night, like he
But
was
do
not
you
the
see
reason.
it every night? Though?
Yes,
do you
I
see
have
it? You
seen
do.
it.
Well,
I-
and I know from now on, we've seen it last week, okay? But will he do that with Embiid in the game
I
constantly?
mean, he did it last night.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He had 28, was it?
Yeah.
28?
I think it was 28, 26,
He's
something like that.
starting to put up numbers. Like he's starting to put up the numbers that we've expected
Well,
him
he
to do.
has the potential of averaging a triple double every game. We see that, okay? And I see how your point is with the defense, okay? But my thing is, he just like Joe, you said about the shooting, he doesn't need that 3-point shot. If he just gets a 10 to 12 foot jumper, not the baby hook that he has, a legitimate jump shot, 10 to 12 feet, this is going to open up the floor so much for the Sixers. They'll be unstoppable. I mean, he drives, he dishes.
But he's never going to do that.
Well, I mean, we never thought he would average 25 points in the last week. I mean, he's been showing that. His defense is incredible. I do say he's elite. I agree with that. But my thing is, like I say in the chat all the time, if we could play point guard and get 10 assists with this team, with the shooters that we have,
Yeah, you know what though?
Do you trade offense for defense?
You know what though? The problem. I mean, it's easy to say that, but then when Ben was out, I mean, they barely beat Houston and they barely beat the Bulls. I mean, they needed 50 from Embiid just to beat the Bulls here, and a lot of that was because Ben Simmons wasn't there. Like if you look, the Sixers shoot 40% from three when Ben Simmons is on the floor, like 29% when he's not playing.
Right.
So I mean, it's a substantial difference.
What I would like to see him do is average 20 points a game. You don't have to shoot the three. Put the ball on the floor, drive to the hole, get fouled. He had a lot of foul shots last night. Get your points from the free throw line. If you're not going to shoot the jumper, take it to the hole, get fouled.
Well, that's actually the biggest growth in his game is that he actually put his balls on the table and is not afraid to shoot. Because before, my biggest criticism was he was afraid to get fouled. If you notice, he's going the line like 10, 12 times a game, and he's really ascending. Like I said, I know about a month ago, I'd be like, yeah, I would definitely trade. But he's really upped this game so much. I'm like, you can't trade him.
Huge name, a draw to me for to trade him. But right now, I mean, it's probably surprise you. I would keep him. There was no way I would trade him. I mean, not even for a Beal right now. With the way they're playing, the only team that actually scares me right now is the Nets. There are three options that you have, and it's what you pick your poison every night. I mean, you don't even who to guard. If you match up with them, Simmons is going to be on your number one player. Right now, Harden is playing point. Kyrie is the best ball handler out there, and Durant is just on another island by himself. What do you do? Who do you put Simmons on? I mean, and where do your other two matchups go?
I feel like you got to put Simmons on whoever's handling the ball.
Right, so right now would be Harden.
So possibly Harden. Yeah, I mean, it's really tough. Yeah, because then who guards Kyrie? See, the Sixers' number one problem is, if you notice, they always have problems with these small guards. These small guards light them up.
The Nets light them up. I mean, every team lights them up. Two guard offense, they have problems with.
That's hard when you have Seth Curry as a starter. I mean, he hasn't played very good defense. Danny Green.
Danny Green's is washed up. It's like I tell Pat, is like he's a liability.
Up one every 5 or 6 games. He fouled out last night, I think, at 24 minutes, and he wasn't effective. So the top priorities to me are like, and I'm not a huge like Kyle Lowry fan by any means, but I think if you can get him without giving up like substantial pieces, I think he's a nice fit next to Ben Simmons. He brings that winning pedigree. I think you can. I definitely agree with Lieb. Like I think Buddy Hield would be an excellent, but I don't think you need to give up Simmons. I mean, like I read today, one of the trades I think was like Buddy Hield and Glenn Robinson III for the expiring contract of Danny Green, the expiring contract of Mike Scott.
That's a trigger you pull right away. No questions asked.
Shake Milton, as much as I don't want to give up Shake and a future first, but like Buddy Hield
is a legitimate scorer.
Is a legitimate scorer. But I think Zach LaVine's the guy I want because I think Zach LaVine plays defense too. And I got to think eventually Zach's going to want out of Chicago.
I think so too.
And I don't think you give up Simmons to get now Maxey's on the table. But to me, if Simmons stays, like, where are the minutes for Maxey unless Milton goes?
Well, you have no shot. I mean, if you're getting Levine, I mean, you're talking. You got to do like 2 or 3 first-round picks, a couple pick swaps. You got to do Maxey. You got to do Green, obviously, for salary, and then. You know what really hurt me? I hate the thoughts of giving up Thibault just because when you do play the Nets, I think see, I don't think you're going to outscore the Nets. The way you got to beat the Nets is you need to be all up on defense. Like you know what I mean? But
and you are going to score against the Nets. They have no defensive presence. I mean, Jordan down low is nothing. All his points are from lobs and easy rebounds. You know, because all they shoot is threes and a fast-paced offense. That's where his points are coming from. And you score. I think the Nets are giving up like 118 right now on defense a game. And that's like the highest in many years, you know.
But I would give all that up for Levine, though. I would.
You would sell the farm.
Well, I feel like that's the move that could put you there. Because if you went forward with Tobias, Levine, Ben, and what do you call it, and Embiid, I mean that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Joe. I don't want to give up Thibault. As a matter of fact, I see Thibault as the future 3 next year when you let Danny Green walk. So the only way. You know, I'm giving up Thibault. Yeah, he's got 1 year expiring contract, and the Sixers will also have money too because remember they got out of Al Horford's contract. Deal, so
it's huge.
I don't want to give up Thibault. I mean, I would give up multiple first-round picks. I would give up Korkmaz to the Bulls. I would give up
Maxey. Mad about that one.
I would give up Maxey.
Korkmania.
Yeah, I mean, but that's one of the.
That's not true.
And that's one of the biggest moves from Doc Rivers that Brett Brown wouldn't do. Doc Rivers said last night after the game, Isaiah Joe is now in the rotation and Korkmaz isn't, and Korkmaz needs to earn his minutes.
Good.
And that's what Doc's doing. And that's what I also think Doc's starting to light a fire under Simmons too, like working with Sam Cassell. I really think
I've really seen a lot of changes in this game ever since that big rumor came out. You're tradable, like talking about Simmons. Ever since that, my man's been playing lights out. I mean, he's driving to the hole. He's doing his job. He's playing lockdown defender. And
you know what the biggest thing is usage wise, and I saw this yesterday, and it kind of surprised me because I know the Sixers have been successful with Embiid, with Embiid just on the court and Simmons out, that their usage is a plus 14 when they're together. When either one of them plays, they're how much they need each other.
Yeah. And I'm just glad finally they're actually gelling. It's not
that's what I was just going to say. I think that's the biggest
I didn't see this
thing.
before.
It's all the coaching.
Right.
It's
exactly.
a big coach. Yeah, it's a huge.
Coaching.
Like Brett Brown was your basic friend in the playground coaching you guys. The father who's coaching the neighborhood kids. Like, hey, do whatever you want to do. Oh, you want to play point guard, Embiid? Go ahead. No big deal. But now Doc Rivers has a voice. Like I love it. I love seeing it.
So this is going to be odd because I have to interrupt the show. Who's driving the GMC here? Is that any of us?
Nope.
No.
I have a Honda CRV. Black truck.
Okay. I would trickle out one at a time, and the guy needs to plow the parking lot and see if your car is in the way because he's telling me
I
that
think we're parked all in the middle.
We are parked in the middle, but he's saying that he might have to plow us in if we don't. I don't know.
Okay.
So maybe one at a time, file out and come back.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sure. Okay. All right. I'll go first.
All right. Oh, we were going to talk about Gretzky. Damn. But yeah, I mean, how far do you think the Sixers are going to go, Smitty? I mean, it's got to be championship or bust.
It is definitely championship or bust. I think they're a move.
Joe, you would ask him whose car it is. Like which one? Okay.
They're a move away.
Yeah.
What that move is, whether it's like I said, it's a Lowry. They're a move away.
Do you think Lowry's the piece, though? You think Lowry's the piece?
I think another scorer.
Yeah.
I think the veteran presence. I think another ball handler.
I think Lowry would be a great asset to this team.
Think about when Simmons goes off the court. Lowry can handle the point. I mean,
He's been some good numbers this year too. Yeah.
And I think Lowry brings that winning Philly tough.
He has that pedigree. He's a hometown boy. He's been there. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely another scorer. But I really don't. When this team plays to what they want to play, and if Simmons stays aggressive, like I really think they can beat anybody.
Sky's the limit.
I really do.
When they play as a team, they want to play with what they're capable and being dominant the way they are.
This, what it kind of reminds me of a little bit of 01. Remember when they traded Theo Ratliff to get Dikembe Mutombo just to get them over the top?
Yeah.
Even though I still think that year with Theo Ratliff, they would have got to the championship. I think that's just
like with the Horford deal. You can't beat Boston, so hey, let's bring him in. But that was useless.
I think we need one more piece just to get us over that hump.
I think defensively they're set. I think just like somebody said, I think we need to get an offensive presence. I can't stand Green, man. Like he just stands in the wing. That's all he does. He's a liability. He's like a Korkmaz on defense. You don't want to play for you. I think you're right. I think maybe like a Lowry, a pure shooter, someone that can spell Ben. Have them play together. Ben goes out. That's why you have one of those guards in the game at all times to distribute the ball and run this team.
And Lowry's from here.
Oh yeah,
so I think I think it would be a great fit for him here.
I agree with that. So you think you're going to win the East? I think they will win the East. I think they got a damn good shot at winning it all. I think they match up really well against the Lakers, man. I really do.
I think they can get to the championship. I just don't think they're good enough.
Experience-wise?
Yeah, I think they can get there, but I don't see them winning it.
Really?
Yeah, I think they maybe next year, but I don't see it this year.
This team's going to go as far as the big three take them.
Yeah.
Simmons, Harris, and Embiid.
Yeah.
If Embiid plays the way that he's been playing,
he's MVP.
But here's the thing: Embiid gets hurt, they're not doing anything.
Well, that's when I think Doc's going to load manage him. To give him like right now, you're still battling to get the playoff spot. When the playoff comes, I think that's the time that Embiid's going to say, hey, you know what, Philadelphia, it's my time. I'm going to play, 7-game series. I'm going to play all 7 for you. I think he will. But just like you said, with the injuries, I think that stat last night, he's never played a full season, of course. Injuries have plagued him. Even at Kansas, when he came out, he was injured with the bad back.
Yeah.
I think time will tell, but I think this is year for the Sixers to go all the way. I think it's going to be the next title for the Philadelphia will be the Sixers, of course.
But the thing is, if he gets hurt, you don't have a Nick Foles with the Sixers.
Yeah, Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
is he legitimate to say, put the weight on my back and let's go?
Embiid.
Good. Okay. That's what I thought, man.
Embiid's your main guy.
Of course. Yeah, we all agree he's the main guy. But if he does go down, let's just say, okay, you're about to go in the playoffs. You're number 1 seed going in. Simmons, you know what? I don't know. He falls to Chick-fil-A, something. Who cares? Whatever he fell, he's out. Out for the series, the first series. Or let's just say entirely for the entire year. How far do they go then? Do you believe in a team without an Embiid?
Without an Embiid?
Yes, going into the playoffs.
No, they're done.
They're done.
That's what I'm saying.
I think they're done. I think they're done without either of the guys.
Really?
I mean, they might. I mean, if they're the 1 seed or 2, maybe they win the first round.
You might get a first or second round. Yeah,
you
play legit.
You saw how much they missed Ben Simmons. I don't care what anybody says against Boston defensively. Like they had no answer for Tatum. And one thing that Ben can do is he can lock down.
He will
Tatum.
lock down. He will. I mean, I just can't wait to see the series at a full strength. With Nets and the Sixers. I really want to see. That's the series I want to see. In the finals.
And if Ben continues to average what he's doing, that 22, 8 and 8, like I think there's not much more we can ask for him.
Yeah,
because he definitely wasn't the reason why they lost last night.
No,
I mean Embiid and Harris both did not shoot well. I mean, I think Harris was 1 and 9 for 3-point range.
Right.
And the bench was like a -30 when they were in like Milton and Thibault. So that's just not going to cut it.
Well, let's just change this for a second. John, how old are you?
43.
Smitty, how old are you?
37.
You're the young buck. Joe?
42.
42. I'm 49. Bob, how old are you?
What was that?
How old are you?
Whoa, that's a straight up question, man. I don't know how. I mean,
we all had a bet in here.
Well, you're not a woman. You can answer.
Yeah,
That's something you only ask.
What's the bet? What's the bet?
Just tell us how old.
What's the bet? Well,
it's an over under in here, okay?
Tell me the bet. There's an over and under.
I got 32.
All right, I like you. Anyone else?
I say you know what? You told me, but I forget. I'm going to say like 36, 37.
33?
35. Joe's closest with the third. I'm 38.
Oh, we don't even give a damn. No, I'm just joking. The reason why I'm asking is I'm 49 years old. I've watched basketball my life, man. Shut up, Bob. so respect your elders, seriously, okay? Come on. When you taught that, you're in the United States Marine Corps. You got to respect your elders, okay? Come on. Semper Fi. But I'm old school, man. I've watched basketball in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, all up till today. Let's talk about this back in the day versus the new school, old school versus new school. I asked you guys to come up with a team, the old school versus the new school. First question I have for you guys, LeBron James, one hell of a player. What would he be like back in the 80s, 90s, the days of the bad boys in Detroit? What would he be like? Lambeer clotheslining you.
He'd be crying.
You. Where would he be? What would he average? How far would he go? Would he have the rings that he has right now? Tell me.
He would only have the rings if he went out and got superstars.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I agree.
But he'd be crying for foul calls. But I mean, the game has completely changed. Like like if you look at the foul calls sometimes are ridiculous.
You blow on somebody, you get a flagrant foul, man.
So
back then it was you come out with a broken leg.
It's figure like there's
common foul.
Big time series that you had back in the 90s, even think about Ewing and some of those Nick teams that would go against and
Oakland back then.
Anthony Mason and all they wouldn't those that wouldn't work. So I just think the game's evolved to the point where it's so much more finesse and speed than it is strength and using your body. Shaq, I even wonder how Shaq would do in the league right now because
I think they would be running circles around him. I mean, they wouldn't play. He wouldn't play down low. That's all he could do. He sat his butt in the box, which was his dominant game back then. That was how he made his money. Right. Now you have centers out there. Embiid, hey, come on out here, guard me. Shooting threes. I don't think Shaq would be the greatest right now. He would. In his time, he was dominant. But now, just like you said, I don't think he would be okay.
See, I feel like, I agree. When it comes to Shaq, I agree with you, but he also would average 30. He also would probably average 35, but then your team might lose. Right. See, that's the problem.
If the system fits him, you want to play low, high man, low man, down low, I'm going to dominate in the box, kick out to the shooters. Depends on what team you're on too. If you're surrounded by shooters, he could be dominant.
See, I feel like great players adapt. Like you brought up, like LeBron James. I can't stand LeBron James.
I can't. I don't like him.
But I will give him his props. And like, and in all honesty, I think part of the reason he does all the crying is because of the modern day game. Like if you put
it's a game.
LeBron with the size he is, if he'd be fine in the 80s. I mean, he would just. It'd just be different. He would just take his butt whooping and get up, just like MJ did. MJ got. I mean, like look what Detroit did to MJ. You know what I'm saying?
The Jordan
and like,
rules, yeah.
Right, and he lifted weights and he wound up overcoming them. LeBron would find a way. The great ones always do.
You think his career would be still where it is today, taking all the wear and tear? Just like my pound for pound best player I've ever seen is Iverson. His size, to me, the way he played against trees every night, I don't think LeBron would be averaging what he does today back in the day in the year that he is right now.
I know it's such
It's
a tough
question we all want to know. Like,
it's
like,
such a tough argument,
yeah,
because it's the game's so different,
right?
If he has the mentality that he has today, he wouldn't last at all.
So basically, what he would do, he would call Durant, Curry, and say, "Hey guys, it's the only way we can win."
Well, no,
is that what he would do?
With his crying and I think his mentality is soft compared to back then. Now, if he had that same mentality that he has today, back in the 90s,
right? I think he's the one player that actually could dominate back. I mean, his numbers would be sufficient with his body size. He reminds me of like the size of Magic Johnson, the mentality of him.
Well, he would be presence. You'd be like a power forward back
he
then.
Would be a 4.
Yeah. So I mean, it's so hard to tell.
The only person I compare him to body wise would be like a Karl Malone. His size,
that's right.
You know?
Like,
what do you got, Smitty? You over there shaking your head?
I can't see LeBron I think about like those Bulls teams, like LeBron mixing it up with Rodman. Like I can't see it. You know what I mean?
Rodman's like the Simmons. He guards your best player.
Right.
He's a forward guarding the point guard
and
on a lockdown.
And we
night.
talk about Iverson. Like, could you imagine Iverson in the way the finesse and up tempo offense? And here's a big man that I think
he probably averaged 35.
He would in today's game.
Now,
oh yeah.
And you know who else? Like to me, can fit both molds. Like Tim Duncan. He would be good in this type of offense too.
Mr.
Like,
Fundamental,
could you
man.
imagine putting like Tim Duncan as your stretch, like big man, or even Akeem with like the
Mm-hmm.
Warriors or something, where a guy that can actually pop and post, kind of like Tim Duncan's game is starting to evolve into like, you know, Embiid kind of reminds me a little bit of like what Duncan can do, right? Like, you know, he's got that outside jumper that he can hit.
Yeah.
I always compare to Embiid to like Akeem Olajuwon. That's why
those
I always.
two. I agree.
He does show a little bit like little turnaround, little fadeaway, little dream shake. You know, he does have like a lot of similars, you know, to that. Yeah.
And Patrick Ewing, like he was just a physical. Dominant center.
Well, the next team was nasty back in the day. Like you watched these teams.
About the Pacers too, man.
Yeah,
with Reggie Miller. That team
was the center? Schmidt, Rick Smith was the center back then.
And the Davis boys. That was like that. They I loved basketball back then. That was great.
And I was talking to Joe about this in the parking lot. We were talking about teams, and I don't know if you guys would agree, but like even that team, that Supersonics team, I think I Kemp and Payton. Like, could you imagine right now, like them in this style basketball? Like, I would love to see them.
You know, I just said that. I can see Kemp coming down the lane and just doing this thunder jam on somebody.
And
back in the day when Kemp dunked on you, he looked at you like.
You forget about Golden State run TMC.
Oh yeah, Richmond,
Tim Hardaway
and Chris Mullin.
That was a solid.
That would have been a nice solid squad too.
So that's why I love the old school.
And the Suns team,
and Marley, Tom Chambers, Kevin Johnson,
KJ was a great player.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
see, a lot of these people. That's why I like talking to you guys. We're about the same age. You know, we remember the old school days. Now you talk about these. You know, oh man, back in the day, who? What was he like? Oh man, you gotta go back to the VHS days, man. You know, and look at these things. But how are we gonna end this, man? Did you guys do your homework?
Yeah.
Did you do your homework, Smitty?
A little bit. Yeah.
Little bit. Lee, did you do your homework?
A little bit.
Oh man.
You said one team or five?
Just do one. Just do a team of the 80s to 2000 and 2000 to
yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll start with you, Smitty. Give me your old school team. Your starting five of your old school team.
So it's not just supposed to be one team.
No.
All right. So if I'm going to do
you can off the dome. Give me one off the dome.
Old school team.
I want a team that's going to take me 82-0 and the possibility to beat whoever on the table from 2000 and 2020. Basketball.
Okay.
I said basketball.
No, I'm just making sure.
Definitely. So I'm looking at like Duncan as my center.
Okay, center.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rodman at the 4 defensively.
Wow.
My 3. I'm probably going shooters, right? Because I got to compare with the 20. So I'm going Reggie Miller as one of my shooters for sure as a 3.
Okay.
My point guard, I'm going with the glove, Gary Payton, because I just think he's a great distributor. Yeah, so that's where I'm at the 1, and
you're going straight defense on this too, like lockdown.
And then I'm going Jordan at the 2, right? And then my team from 2000s, I'm down. You got to put Kobe on there.
Okay,
you got to put LeBron on there.
This is when you go like a 3 or 4 guard offense. Nowadays,
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, that's why, like. I want to have a center, but in this 2020 to go up against them, I need a team that's athletic. So that's why I like Rodman and Duncan, and that's why I surrounded myself with shooters. But then guards wise, I'm definitely looking at Kobe, right? I'm looking at LeBron because LeBron will match up.
I think we both. I think everybody's going to have them in.
Center's tough right now.
That's where I debated the center.
Way I would go. I know Embiid's not there, but Embiid Duncan would be a hell of a matchup to watch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That would be. I'd pay money to see that. I really would.
Obviously Steph Curry for shooting, and then what would I say? So I got 1. I guess I'm probably going AD.
Okay, who wins? Who wins out of your teams?
Damn, that's tough.
I know.
I think I'd go with.
We're gonna go in a 7-game series. Okay.
I'm gonna go a 7-game series.
Yeah.
I still think my team with
Rodman.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think defensively, I think that Duncan holds his own. I think Jordan's a sniper. I think Gary Payton is running up and down the court, distributing.
I tell you what, that's what remind me like the Detroit Bad Days. Come down my lane, you're getting a Lambeer clothesline.
If you think about it, you look at my team, you got to have a point guard that can distribute and run the floor. Right. That's why I got Gary Payton. Right. Okay. I got Jordan because I need a sniper. Then I got Reggie Miller. Right. And then I have a defensive guy. The reason why I'm getting Rodman on my team is, like you said, he's guarding my best player.
Oh, goodness gracious. Breaking news. Look at this guy.
And then my 5 is, my 5 is definitely Duncan. And I think that, that they would win.
What do you want?
You guys want to go?
Oh, man. He's taking a shot. Put him on the air. Put him on the air.
What happens when you don't show up?
I'm on my way there, clown.
All right, Pat. Hurry up. Bring some pizza.
Yo, tell him to bring something to eat, man.
All right, hurry up and get off Wentz Mountain, man. Hurry up, okay? All right, Pat. All right.
Why would it call you? Why would it call you in the middle of the show?
I know. Like, what is this? CEO doesn't mean a damn thing.
I have breaking news. Yeah? Since Pat's not on the show tonight, we doubled our viewers.
Oh my God! All right, Lee, I'll go with you. What do you got? Give me that old school team.
He's on fire.
All right, old school team. Let's go.
I do like that defensive team, though.
I gotta go.
Practice, man. We're not even talking about the game, the actual game.
Damn,
when it
I
matters.
didn't even put Iverson on there.
I know.
Damn, he's my 6th man.
Old school team.
Is it because he doesn't practice or?
Power forward, I'm going Charles Barkley.
Oh,
I'm going Barkley at power forward. Obviously, I got to have Jordan on the old school team. My center, I'm going Akeem Olajuwon.
That's where I was going to go.
I'm also going to have let's see who else is there. Point guard, I'm going John Stockton.
Ooh, you going to have the mailman out there too?
No mailman. No. All right, so I got Barkley, Akeem,
Jordan,
Stockton.
Like a forward now.
I need another shooter. Going probably Reggie Miller.
I like that. What about your new school?
Yeah,
new school. I gotta go. Well, I'm considering AI in the 2000s, right?
Yeah, no, I think
I
missed him.
I'm putting AI. Gotta have Kobe.
Yep.
Let's see what else. So AI, Kobe, center. 2000s. See, the centers weren't really there. It was in the.
This game has evolved so much, man. Like,
I mean, could you put Tim Duncan? Well, no, he was. Yeah,
you can put him anywhere you want.
Put Duncan
I would go Tim Duncan
in the 2000s.
Yeah. So
I mean, he should
have
probably.
AI, Kobe, Duncan, and then let's see, Durant.
Okay.
I'd put Durant there. And now I just need a point guard, right?
No, you have.
Yeah. I need a. Think. I could use Curry.
There you go.
Yeah,
you got a small backcourt.
Yeah.
Iverson, that's nice.
That is nice. Who wins out of your team?
I say Jordan.
I like the old school.
I like
stuff.
the old school.
Old
I
school.
saw
Old school.
Yeah,
What do you got, Joe? What do you
Old
got?
school gonna bust that ass.
Talk
All
to
right.
me.
I got Magic,
There you
Michael,
go. There you
Magic,
go.
Michael, Larry, Hakeem, and I got Barkley for boards, and my team's gonna be legit. New school, I'll go Steph Curry for shooting.
Mhm.
I'll go Kobe. I'll go Shaq. I ain't worried about styles. Shaq's gonna bust somebody's ass down low. All right, I'll go KD and I'll go
Yeah.
LeBron.
I agree with you, old school, man. I got Magic and Bird. I'm sorry, Magic and Jordan.
Mhm.
At 6'9", he's gonna back down anybody. I don't care who you are. Go on, Bird. You got to have that 3-point shooter, the biggest trash talker in history. I'm going Olajuwon.
There you go.
And to me, I don't know why. I want to throw Duncan out there at the 4.
Mhm.
I think that's unstoppable, man.
Yeah.
At there, the new school, well, you got to go Kobe.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
You got to go LeBron, KD. You know what? The only person that can really bang down low, and I'm going to throw a center out there, would probably be Embiid because he's a stretch. You know, he's going to pull that out. He's going to pull it out for you. And the other forward, to me, I can use Duncan though too, but I can't use them both ways. But I don't know, man. That forward is kind of scared to me. I would probably go
Dirk, maybe.
That's what I was actually thinking. Dirk.
I was
Nowitzki,
thinking
'cause
Dirk,
you got another
too.
7-footer out there. You got the Twin Towers and him and Embiid. Both can stretch out and shoot the 3. But to me, man, I think we all agree. Us being old heads, I think the old school dominated, man. No matter what,
Jordan.
on all teams, man.
There's nobody that's still touching. Well,
Is he the
that's still
GOAT? He's the
touching
GOAT,
Jordan.
right?
He is the GOAT. But I have an argument with people all the time. Like, I think runner up to Jordan is still Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe's
And
the
the reason
closest thing.
and
Yeah.
the reason why I say that is like, I mean, yeah, Kobe did have talent around his Lakers teams, but like he didn't actively go out and like that's the thing that bothers me with LeBron. Like if you look at everywhere he's gone, he had to go with 3 superstars.
Right,
like in
right,
LA,
right.
LeBron
right?
doesn't win all those championships.
No,
with
his
those other
record is
players.
like no. Jordan's every time he's went there, he's won it. Okay, but the team was ensembled around him. They brought in LeBron went and got his pieces. Okay, and that same thing is following with Durant right now. He's following the pieces. They're coming to him.
Right.
Okay, Jordan was built around, never left. They built around him,
And
that's something that will never be done again.
And that's why I like Duncan so much. Like you look at that San Antonio team,
Oh,
like
yeah.
yeah, they were good. They had Elliott, and at one time they had like they had David Robinson, they had them both together. But even when they won titles before, like there wasn't, Tony Park, like they were all developed by the
Ginobili,
Spurs.
right? Yeah,
Ginobili,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Right.
they signed Robert Horry, right? Which you wouldn't sign Robert Horry, right? As a,
Exactly.
as
Yeah,
a free
Mr.
agent,
Ring.
but,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
like it wasn't to the point where I feel like teams like if you're a superstar and you can't win where you go, you just go join somebody else.
Exactly.
Back
Well,
in
that's
the-
why I
back
put
in
on
the
our
90s
chat
and
like
80s,
they
that's not how it was.
they interviewed Jordan
Right.
on this, like I don't know where it was. I read about it, and they actually asked him, "You ever today's game, how it's evolved?" He got into it. Make a long story short, he talked about it. He's like, "Have you ever thought about getting a super team together?" He's like, "You might be damn crazy out your mind if you think I'm going to call Bird and Magic and say let's get together to win."
Right.
I wanted to beat your ass on the show. I mean, the game. You made me better. You were practicing. I was practicing double hard. That's what it was. That's the mentality of old school versus new school.
Right.
It's not about going out and getting Smitty, you're the best point guard. Joe, you're the best center. You're the best forward. Let's all get together and win this. That's the only way you can do it. No, that didn't happen in the old school days.
Kobe
No.
Kobe had the closest mentality to Jordan.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
As game.
I'm a man. I'm 4. I'm a man.
But my last thing, real quick. I know we won't get wrap this up, but let's talk about the GOATs of all time. I hear a lot of debate. Jordan, Brady, Gretzky. Who's the GOAT? I don't care. All sports. Let's rank them 1, 2, 3 of the GOATs of all time sports right now.
Right now?
Yep. Right now. Well, of all time, played in the past, present, everything. Give me the top 3.
You know what? I'll still go Jordan 1.
Okay.
With his 7th Super Bowl, I'll go Brady 2, and I'll go Gretzky 3. Because as great as Gretzky was, he only
If there's another one out there, throw it out. I just
that's
said
it.
those 3. Okay.
That's it.
Somebody, what do you got? I know you want to talk about this one, man.
Definitely going Jordan and Brady as the GOAT, but then I think about that third.
Well, who do you have on top? Jordan?
Jordan.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
okay.
100%.
Because I see a lot of people saying
And-
Brady out there. A lot
I
of
mean,
people. We talked about it in
listen,
our group.
Listen, if Brady wins another one, with
You put 'em
Tampa again.
Okay.
You're talking like getting closer to that 1A, 1B because Brady didn't have. If you look at Brady in New England, as much as I hated Brady in New England, and I don't really hate him as much now in Tampa, I don't know what that is, but I really have more profound respect for him. But the only time that they really had and they lost was when Moss, right?
Exactly.
Everything was homegrown. So with Brady, so definitely Brady.
Yeah.
Second, I don't know. Third, man, that's tough. I mean, you look at some old school baseball players. You know, I could go Hank Aaron, I could go Willie Mays.
Yeah, I can't even mention, but they were before my time. I didn't see them. But that's a legitimate argument.
Hockey, I mean,
you go with the great one.
I mean, you could even go with Babe Ruth. I mean, but none of us saw him play, obviously. But just for the simple fact that he kind of put professional sports on the map.
Thanks, Sid. Yeah.
Actually, what I don't know how much you guys will agree with me now, but if Trout wins multiple championships, he's got to go up there for baseball.
Mike Trout,
That's
really?
one of the better. Better baseball players that we've watched.
Does he have? I'm not a big baseball
I would have put Griffey in there, but he never won a ring.
He never won a ring, right? Trout has never won.
No, Trout hasn't even made the playoffs.
This team's
and he's always been an angel, right?
Yeah, we were always hoping he was going to join forces with Bryce.
Right. That's what I heard. Yeah,
it would probably have to be right now. It would have to be
1, 2, and 3 right there.
Yeah, I think I don't think there's really a debate.
What do you got, Lee?
I mean, it's really nothing. It's really Jordan, Brady, and Gretzky there.
Yeah.
Right.
Bob, what do you got out there after this? What do you got? Who's your all-time go-to 1, 2, and 3? Any sports all-time present?
I have Jordan, and I couldn't stand Jordan when he played, but as his career went on, I got to really like him and really appreciate the competitive.
Yeah.
Especially after watching the documentary about the 1992 Dream Team, the best team ever assembled ever.
We'll never see something like
on
that.
the
We were
face
just
of this
blessed
planet.
to see that, man.
I don't care what anyone
teams
says.
by 50 points, and that was still not even up to their standards, is what they said. Wow. Yeah.
Yep. No, man, I'll tell you what, man, it's a hard if you have a top 3 because I like Magic too, but I got to go Jordan, and then second, I know I'm going to get heat for this, but I'm going to throw a pitcher in the 2, and that's Nolan Ryan.
Oh yeah.
That's,
I really appreciate. He's another one that I couldn't stand, only because he wasn't on the Phillies though. And then number 3 would probably be Brady.
3. Okay.
I mean, you also could go golf too. I mean, you got Jack
Tiger,
Nicklaus, you got
Tiger.
Tiger.
Yeah,
I mean, if you really want to think outside the box, Olympics,
my
you
third
could go
one. I got
Michael
into
Phelps.
a huge argument with my third one. This guy, we were talking. This guy really made me think about this. Number 1, I'm going Jordan, man. That's untouchable to me. Right. 2 is Brady. Just like Smitty said, if he wins one more, he's going to be that 1A level to me. It's going to be a 1A right there. But number 3 to me, I don't watch the sport. I've never watched it. Jimmy Johnson, NASCAR. I think he won 5 straight Cup Series things. It's never been done achievable. I'm not a NASCAR guy, but he was like, "Well, you want to look at stats? You want to look at this? Nobody's ever done this. 5 different years, won it." I was like, "It's NASCAR. I don't give a damn."
Yeah,
But
I don't know much about
I don't either.
I give him his props, but I mean NASCAR. You could tell me a guy. You could tell me a guy.
Left turn. How hard is it, man?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell me a guy out there and won 30 badminton championships, and I'd be like, all right, well, I guess he's really good too. You know what I mean?
Put Tiger Woods as a goat.
In sport, I mean, I would probably go old school first, though. Like Arnold Palmer, Nicholas, things like that. But I'm not a golf guy, so I can't look at it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you could. You're definitely. I mean,
but hearing what people say, I would probably go with Joe's 3. Gretzky he's called the great one. You know what I mean? That's got to be something that's
Mario Lemieux's right behind Gretzky, though.
Oh yeah, Mario.
Where's Patrick Kane?
Oh, he's not. He don't even sniff that conversation.
Ooh,
I mean, he's a good.
I mentioned that, right?
Why is that?
I mentioned Patrick Kane, right?
No, why?
What's his name? Patrick Bernard.
Oh, okay.
He's on top. He's right up there with Wentz. Patrick Kane. You get it right, Bob.
That's number 1. Is it's go Carson Wentz with 0 playoff wins.
So Adam Popple's been kind of checking in the whole show. He laid some comments out there, but
get him, Adam.
I asked him for his top 3. He said Jordan, Gretzky, Brady, with Montana very close behind.
I like that.
I agree.
See, I like that. I like that old
Montana.
stuff.
Yeah, Montana. Yeah, definitely.
Plus, he went to Notre Dame too, so he's
Exactly.
always.
That's right. That's right, Joe. We got Notre
Oh,
Dame
you guys
knowledge
are
here.
Notre Dame fans?
Oh, big time.
Jeez.
Big time.
I might have to sit now. I got to sit next to Cowboys and Notre Dame.
Hey, that's the one thing we agree. That's the one thing we agree.
That's about the only thing, right? All of you two get along.
I didn't like Joe first, but he's like, I like the Irish. I'm like, Joe, yes.
Yeah.
And Smitty, it's very, very easy to strongly dislike Tom Brady, even though he's a Buck.
Not for me.
Very, very,
Not for
very
me.
easy. I just
respect
never,
players as
I'll
they
never
play. I
like
don't
him.
care where they go.
So
Like,
here's the reason why. Like, and I'm not saying I like him, but like, he seems like a totally different dude outside of New England. Like, you know what I mean? Like the drunk Brady was great, but like, if you think
did you
about
see him
it,
throwing that trophy off the boat?
Oh, it was great.
I mean, and don't get me wrong.
In a way, I was thinking like, drop
Right.
that, drop that.
The
Like,
defense was absolutely fantastic.
The defense
and
won the game for him.
won, but like,
oh yeah,
you still have to think about. I mean, he went into New Orleans, right? And he
then
beat New
Rodgers.
Orleans. Then he goes into
yeah.
Green Bay and he beats them. And this is all in a pandemic with not a
back
normal
to back
training
to
camp.
back. Exactly.
I mean,
No OTAs.
to me,
nothing.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
It is. It is. Yeah. It is.
Amazing.
100%. With a new team, a new offense, new coordinator, the whole thing. I give the man props.
He's won one in the AFC and NFC. If he wins another in the NFC, like I said, you got to put him up there, like with Jordan, because now you're talking about 8 rings.
So what do you have? One more year, you think? One more year for him?
Dude,
I don't know. I feel like he's a
now.
cyborg. He might play to 50.
He might, man.
I'm wondering if he's even human.
Yeah,
I know,
I
right?
think it really depends on like Tampa. I mean, if they can keep this team together, I think he stays. I know Godwin's a free agent, but like you know, I mean, Brady's just
He's like
ridiculous
the
what he's
Cal
doing.
Ripken.
The
He's
only
like Cal
way I
Ripken,
see him
nobody's gonna stop
hanging
this
it
guy.
up is if they really tank the boat or something.
And
But
I
if
can't see
they're-
that happening.
if-
Brady would not let that
Yeah,
happen.
no,
Man. Like,
but-
you know, it's
Or if he gets hurt, I mean,
But
you
I
know,
think-
he could
yeah, like
possibly
seriously,
get
like
hurt.
injury.
I think
yeah.
he has the mentality.
Oh, he
I
can play
want
to
to do
50.
that. I want to get it back to back with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I think he's listening to the naysayers. Like, you know what, Tom Brady. You know, I've always had Belichick. Well, you know what, that monkey's off your back now. You won without him. A whole new system.
Yep.
Now you have nothing to prove, but now to prove to yourself that you want that 8th ring. You know, like that's all I think it is now.
Yep.
You know, but
He's going to end up playing another
He
2
wants-
years.
you think so?
No,
2
no, no.
years?
He's
He
only
wants-
43. He wanted to play till 45.
Yeah.
He's going to be 44.
Well, my last thing is Breeze. What do you think about Breeze? Is he retiring? I'm hearing he's coming back. Like I said, run it back. He ain't gonna run nothing back because there ain't nothing right now. But it's still got to go through Tampa Bay. Got to go through the Packers in the NFC. You know,
Is
but
he really coming? I just thought
I
it
heard-
was
no, I-
foregone conclusion.
Yeah,
I thought
he
I
was
seen
gone.
something on something that had to do with Twitter. It was I forgot
Oh,
who
that
it
was fake. I
Was it?
saw
Okay,
the other
okay,
day
you
where he
seen
said
it?
he's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that was like
Because I was driving.
Adam Schefter Weedhead or
Okay, 'cause
something.
I was driving.
That
I'm
was a
like,
fake
I put
account.
on the show and I was like, he's coming back. I'm like, I didn't even see it. I'm just like, oh, he's coming back. You know. But yeah, if he hangs up, I mean, Taysom Hill.
Yeah,
I heard Jameis Winston for them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they like
You know what? I thought
maybe your
Wentz
boy
was,
Dak goes there.
I thought Wentz was actually going to go there. I really thought about it for a while.
Him
Like,
and Sean Payton, that wouldn't last. He'd be in.
That's what I mean,
No
but-
way.
that's what I mean. But with the weapons that they have here, we had no excuses. You know, like okay, your weapons are here. You have Kamara. You have Thomas on the outside. No questions right now. This is what you want to prove something. Come here, win. If not, go back.
Around and nothing you can say to me.
Bob, you got anything?
Not that. Yo, yeah, just give me one moment here. I hear we have a special birthday shout out.
Yeah, it's my birthday, guys. I'm sorry. Forgot to tell you.
Hold on a second, Smitty. I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I mean, I'm pulling it up right now.
All right. So thanks, guys, for having me on the show. But it would be horrible for me not to wish happy birthday to my daughter, Sophia. She turns 3 today.
Yes.
Just want to let her know Daddy and Mommy love her so much, and she's the greatest gift that we have.
Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give her the all-time greatness. What we're going to do? We're all going to sing happy birthday to her. Sophia, right?
All right.
All right, let's do it, man. This is from Devereaux Sports. You're part of the
Yeah.
family.
And
We
Bob
love you.
needs to do
Happy
it, too.
birthday.
Yeah.
And here we go on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sophia. Happy birthday to you. Congratulations, man. Have a beautiful daughter, man. There you go. Thank you.
My
Is
daughter's
Pat
birthday's
coming?
named Sophia too.
What's that?
Is Pat
Yeah.
coming still? or
He
what?
says he's be here in like 5 minutes, man. But you know what? That's like Pat. Like really,
He probably got injured like Carson.
he probably did. He probably pulled a hammy.
He tripped
somewhere.
over a
Yeah.
pothole that he hasn't filled.
Concussion.
You want to wait for him, Bob, for a little bit, or what do you want to do?
It's up to you, man. If you want to wait and bring them in, and then you can
All right, we
roast
can
them
do that.
again.
Let's just
It's up
talk.
to
Let's
you.
just throw it out there. I mean, let's just have a round table. Throw out whatever you want to talk about. Anything we want to talk about tonight? I love this, guys. This is great.
How about
This is fun.
what's on your mind? Like if you're
You want to
pissed
know what's
off
on my
about
mind?
something,
What's on
your
my mind is
Paul?
I'm hoping these PennDOT people that they filled all the potholes, just like Liv said, got that snow off the road, man. Because I sat for freaking 4 hours almost behind a 3 semi-truck pile up on the turnpike today, man.
That's not fun.
It's not fun. I sat there and just looked and looked and looked. And Pat sends me a message. I wish you guys could see this message. I said, sitting here in 4 hours in traffic, Pat sends me a message and says, Batman's on the way.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting, Pat.
Just like we're waiting for that playoff win from Carson.
Exactly. It's going to be a long day and a long time. I tell you what.
Now I'm glad this weekend it's going up to 50, so I'm ready to like rock
know.
out. I mean, with the way it's been, I'm ready to rock shorts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I got a question for you guys. Seriously, Joe, you and I are probably the same. Smitty, you're the same way. You're an avid collector of sports, man.
Yeah.
I collect jerseys. I got about 250 jerseys of all teams. I only have one Eagles jersey. It's Randall Cunningham jersey. But let me ask you this: if I'm walking down the street, you guys know me as a diehard Cowboy fan. If I pull out an Eagles jersey and I rock that just because I like the jersey, is that a violation to me?
Absolutely.
You know what? I mean, and it's so funny because I've changed so much from this. Because when I was younger, I was
We talked about this. Yeah.
I was like, oh, you got it. It's only Philly. But I respect. I mean, I'll rock a jersey of a player I like. But the one rule is it can't be a rival. Like I couldn't do Dallas. I couldn't do Giants.
What about, I'm talking old school. Like if what jersey would you? What do you have any Cowboy jerseys?
Oh no, never. I couldn't.
You don't have any.
No, I couldn't. That's against my religion.
Nah, you can't do that.
I couldn't
dude.
do.
That's a violation, dude.
Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't do Giants or Cowboys or Redskins or anything like that. But I do.
What?
But like for instance, Raider. I got Raiders tickets for
Right.
Vegas.
Right.
No, Joe. Come honest. You have a Redskins jersey. Stop.
Oh, it's coming out.
Oh!
Here it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hate the
What's he have?
Redskins.
What's he have? Which one does he have?
Donovan
Nah, I think
McNabb.
it's green, right?
No.
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 What do you have for the Redskins?
No, all right. So
Man, Paul's
I hate the Redskins.
Paul's hiding in
I'm
the
not a
closet,
fan.
dude.
But I
Or
have
not Paul.
no. But I have
Jonathan's in his closet.
no. I can no. I'll tell you exactly why.
Okay, yeah, we want to know. Stop beating around the bush. We want to know who it is, Joe.
So Alex Smith. So for two, I
Okay.
like the story. I like the story.
No,
Plus,
it's- right,
plus,
right.
plus it was $2.
Oh, you can't beat $2. You can't beat $2. You can't beat $2.
TJ Maxx.
No,
You know what?
That's
I'd rather buy a $2
No, I'm gonna tell you-
Slurpee from 7-Eleven.
Why? I have Redskins season tickets.
Right, you said yeah.
All right, now here's the story.
That's a money venture, though.
me-
It's
me
makes
and-
you money.
Me and Lee went to the Eagles game in 2003 and 2004. It was all Eagles fans down there, and I had to go on StubHub and like buy the tickets, and it was a real pain in the what, right? So just for shits and giggles, pardon my French, just for the hell of it or whatever, I put myself on the Redskins season ticket waiting list, right? Never thinking that they would ever call. A couple years ago, all of a sudden, I guess because they stunk, they're like, Joe, you have any interest in these Redskins tickets? And I'm like thinking to myself, no, they suck and I hate them, right?
Right.
But I got Redskins tickets. Like my work has some clients that are like in that area or whatever. So I got Redskins tickets 6 rows from the field. Because I figured, you know what? Why not? I mean, I could go to an Eagles game.
It's close. Yeah,
If-
get it one game a year. Yeah, and
If
you can
they
sell the rest.
if they get good, I could get my money
some
back,
money.
sell it or whatever.
Okay.
And now last year, the game where one of Carson's really good games, the game where he hit Miles Sanders in the end zone, my buddy Paul and his boy went down. You know, they were like 6, and it was all Eagles fans, and everybody's
Okay.
going crazy.
Right. So it is a violation, right?
What, having the Redskins jersey? Oh
Well,
yeah, it's
anyway, a rival team.
it's a violation.
Because
But
I'm not gonna lie, I do have a Giants jersey.
okay,
I have Eli's jersey. Okay.
Why?
Hey, I
You
respect
have
You make
Eagles
that
jersey?
stupid look on your face when you wear it.
I do.
The Sheila face.
I do. All right, Redskins. I have LeVar Arrington. I have his jersey. And Eagles, I have Randall Cunningham. I've never worn them outside. They're in my closet, sitting there. What do you think Pat is right now?
Is he outside?
No, he's at home watching it on TV.
And we're here waiting for him because he said he was on his way.
Seriously, man, we're sitting here waiting for you, and you said you're showing up and like,
yeah.
What is this, Pat? Like,
what a loser!
What
man.
a loser! You know what? Go sit with I bet you Wentz. I bet he has a poster of Wentz right next to him right now. Like, it's just me and you, buddy. It's just me and you. But guys, I think we can wrap it up. Bob, you have anything for us tonight?
Nah, man. Just hey, look, this is being powered by CB Pro Live.
Yes, sir.
And if you are interested in, bringing your podcast to life, get in touch with me. And if you saw how much fun we have, Devereaux Sports. This past weekend we had a Saturday podcast. We had a Sunday podcast, and now we have a Monday Today podcast. Which is Monday podcast is actually once a month with Paul here. So CB Pro Live, get in touch with me if you want to create a podcast.
Sounds good. Yeah, definitely. If you guys want to do anything, hit Bob up, Bob Hardnett on Facebook, CB Pro Live here at the Crack Bell Studios. Let's just get it, man. If you want to start something, it doesn't have to be sports, anything out there, man. There's shows of anything you want to talk about. Cooking, I don't care. Wearing rival jerseys, whoever wants to be. Yeah. I hope I hit a pothole on the way home. Really good.
He's got to go through it. We had to sit through that first song.
Hurts so good. You should put that song on.
Let me give him my Eli look. Oh, Bob, I just got breaking news. Pat told you to shut up.
Oh, yeah. Ouch, Pat. No, please stop.
But guys, let's wrap this up, man. Once again, my name is Paul Spencer. I'm the villain. I want to thank everybody here for showing up. Ryan, it was a pleasure meeting you, man. Great knowledge. Man. Yeah. Hit Ryan Smitty up on Facebook. Also, check out the John here. He has a show every Saturday, also every other Sunday, correct?
Sunday, yeah.
Yep, the Sunday coming up?
You
just did one previous.
Yeah, I just did one. Yeah, 2
check him out.
Yep.
Joe Sullivan, a.k.a. the John. And we got John Lieb over here. Check out John Lieb, correct, on Facebook?
Correct.
And also, of course, Dr. Dre behind the mic. We got Mr. Bob Hardnett back there. And like I said, hit up CB Pro Live if you want to start anything. Legit guys, take care of us. They're all family. They treat us with respect, utmost dignity, man. As for myself, I just want to thank you for guys coming in here. I greatly appreciate it. I know it's bad weather out there. Let's just get home, stay safe. And also, Sophia, happy damn birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
All right,
take us out of here, Bob.
Right.
Happy birthday.